FIFA 23 is finally here, and our first career mode save will be with Crystal Palace. Since taking over last season, Patrick Vieira has done wonders with this Crystal Palace squad. It's why I've chosen to utilize the new feature in FIFA 23 to play as a real manager to make this save not only about Palace, but also Vieira's managerial journey. Some of these real-life performances are definitely going to impact our starting 11. For example, Wilfried Zaha will be starting for us out wide, but we may also choose to utilize him at his secondary center forward position, as he is currently Palace's top goal scorer. Now, the new menu interface to career mode is going to take some getting used to, but most of your crucial information is on the first tab. For example, you can check the standings for all competitions you're involved in, as well as European competitions. Going to your weekly schedule is the fastest way you can access the calendar and also adjust your weekly training emails, which I typically turn off. Of course, objectives is nothing new to you career mode fans, and for Palace, I think the overlying theme is to continue building a younger squad, kind of like Vieira has done the last season, and also further establish ourselves as a consistent mid-table Premier League side. The transfer and weekly wage sliders have been removed this year, so you've just got a single monetary amount for your overall budget. In our case, I don't plan to utilize the full 40+ million because Palace have made a number of solid summer signings. Czech Doucouré arrived from Lens for 20 million. He's been Palace's first choice holding midfielder. Chris Richards hasn't gotten too many appearances yet, but the promising American center back will hopefully fulfill the 10 million move that he made from Bayern. Sam Johnson's still yet to get too many appearances, but the free transfer from West Brom will give us squad rotation at goalkeeper. Malcolm Aboe also joins on a free from Derby County. He does have experience in the Premier League though, as he is a former Arsenal Youth Academy player. Now, that doesn't even cover all the transfers that Vieira has made. In his first season, he brought in Mark Gahey from Chelsea, who has proved to be one of Palace's best players, along with Michael Olise, who is actually Vieira's first signing. Both of them have exciting prospects in career mode and will play an integral role in this save. Getting you all involved in this series via the comments section is a huge priority to me, whether that's transfer suggestions or answering your questions via press conferences. Throughout this video, I'll be asking questions that impact the entire direction we take with this series, so make sure to leave your comments and I'll be featuring some of them in the next episode. Also, leave a like to let me know you want to see more of these videos, and subscribe to get updates when new episodes go live. Making realistic transfers and incorporating fun storylines is also crucial to every save I do, and it'll be no different this year. One area that I think needs to be addressed in this team is at right back. We've got two aging fullbacks in Joel Ward and Nathaniel Klein. I think we need to look towards a better long-term option here. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka is arguably the highest profile player to come out of Palace's Youth Academy. After impressive performances in the 17-18 and 18-19 Premier League campaigns, Manchester United signed him for a 50 million transfer fee, a pretty large sum at the time. His appearances over the last two seasons have been limited, and it looks like with Erik ten Hag in charge, Wan-Bissaka is no longer going to be the first choice right back. I think with the system that we'll have in place at Palace, Wan-Bissaka will be able to thrive as a defensive-minded fullback, who with a few years of focused training can provide an option for us on the attack as well. But here are some of the cutscenes new to FIFA 23 career mode. It's a fun addition, and it was only fitting that Zaha welcomed back Wan-Bissaka to the club. With 25 million being the final transfer fee, I thought we did pretty good on the negotiations, but unfortunately we're only going to get a D grade. I'm still trying to figure out this new transfer grade system, so if you have any suggestions on how to improve, feel free to leave that in the comment section. But after bringing back one former Youth Academy player in Wan-Bissaka, we have a new one to turn our attention to. It's Jay Gregory, a homegrown talent for the save, already starting at a 69 rating for this 78 to 94 potential English left winger. However, if we take a look at his attributes, I think striker will be more fitting. It's going to give him a +1 to his rating. The big question now is if or when he's going to get a first team appearance. We've got a really promising outlook for our Youth Academy as we begin with a 5-star, 4-star scout who will stay in England for 9 months looking for any type of player. And I want to place more of a focus on the global transfer network for this series. For starters, we have scouts established in England, Germany, and Spain. I thought it was only fitting that we also set up a network in France, as that is one of the top nations and leagues that Vieira signs his players from. Right now we're looking for a striker who's pacey and prolific, a first team quality free kick specialist, as well as a first team quality central midfielder. Let me know if you have any other instructions in mind, but our preseason tournaments actually start later in July now, which is a good change as it is more reflective of what happens in real life. We actually go on undefeated in the preseason tournament, getting 3.9 million added to our transfer budget, finishing top of the 8 teams involved in the tournament. But the Premier League is where our focus will lie in this first episode. Not sure why real life results aren't replicated, but we'll start with an away fixture against Bournemouth. A chance for us to hopefully start the campaign with 3 points, but some position changes with the arrival of Wan-Bissaka. I think Ward can shift over to center back. I gave him a +2 to his rating. Doucouré will act as our holding center defensive mid. He got a +1 with that position change. And Jeffrey Schlupp will take a whole 207 weeks to switch over to center midfield, which is actually where he features for Palace right now. But starting 11-wise, I think we'll use 2 different formations. In matches where I think we have the upper hand, we'll use the 4-3-3 attacking. And in fixtures where we're outclassed and are just trying to catch our opponents on the counterattack, we'll use the 5-4-1. That also gives Ward a chance to make the occasional appearance and serve as club captain in those fixtures. Even with us going undefeated in the preseason tournament, the press is already pointing towards relegation. We have a positive outlook though, and I think there's a good chance of us finishing mid-table. In case you were wondering, these are the settings I'll be using for the save. 5-minute halves, no sliders adjusted, and we'll be able to utilize an attacking formation as we try to pick up all 3 points in this first fixture. Of course, there's a sense of excitement on the opening day of the Premier League season, but especially so for Bournemouth as a newly promoted side. We will be looking to crush their hopes though, as we earn 3 points on our opening fixture. But it's Edouard finding Zaha, who I already know is going to be such a big player for us in this series. Getting involved from out wide, unfortunately this effort going off of the post and out of play. He knows he should have done better on that opportunity, and we don't know how many of those chances we're going to get. It's Schlupp to play through Edouard into space, showcasing a good amount of pace and physicality to hold off the defender, with the keeper able to come off of his line. It's Bournemouth now just before the halftime break, forcing Haïta into making a solid save. It was Brooks with the outside of the foot effort, but we're going to be level going into the break, and hopefully the second half will see some goals as we make a change, bringing Olise on for Ayew. And I decided to start Ayew for this first fixture just because he has typically been in Vieira's starting 11, but of course with Olise having more potential, I wanted to play a big role as well. Haïta with another solid stop to deny Bournemouth from a goal, and we're going to make a striker swap as Mateta gets brought on in the 81st minute. It's Bournemouth with some great passing play. Rothwell denied of the effort, and we'll start the counterattack. With still 8 minutes left in this match, we're going to start building out of the back. Doucouré finding Schlupp will work it out wide. Zaha seeing the overlapping run, but he will instead use the central option. Mateta one-on-one with the keeper will finish the effort, and just like that, we have a 1-0 advantage. Mateta, limited minutes in this first appearance, but he really made the most of his opportunity, and we may have a battle for the starting striker role moving forward between Mateta and Edouard. But the important thing is we got the win and all 3 points. Later in the month of August, we have a fixture against Manchester United away. It's still early days, but United are off to an unbeaten start. We're sitting mid-table. The reason I'm choosing to highlight this match, though, is it will be the return to Old Trafford for Wan-Bissaka, as well as for Zaha against his former club. Of course, Vieira knows a thing or two from his playing days for how to line up against United. It's always going to be a tough match, but hopefully if we can convert more of our chances, we should be able to battle for a good result. And for this match, I thought we'd try out the playable highlights option new to FIFA 23 career mode. Gnabry getting the first crossing chance for Manchester United. It is stopped by Ward though. It's good to see him getting a few appearances every now and then. We're going right into a counter-attacking chance. And let me know in the comment section what you would like to see for this series. Personally, I'm still trying everything out, all the new features, as we do get a penalty kick opportunity just before the halftime break. Fortunately, we put that in the bottom right-hand corner. The one thing I don't like about these playable highlights is that you aren't really able to see the build-up to the chances, and you're not able to see the highlights, which I like to incorporate into these episodes. I figure moving forward, we'll probably do a combination of full match highlights as well as the playable highlights. But Ronaldo one-on-one with the keeper. It's Haïta with another stop to deny the effort. Trying to keep a clean sheet here, as I don't think we're going to be scoring any more goals. Ronaldo on the set piece, sets it into the box. It is cleared away initially, but it's right back to Ronaldo. Acuna from the left back position, finding Bruno Fernandes, and you know who it is. Another stop from our goalkeeper, to deny Manchester United of a goal, and it's 3 points for us away at Old Trafford. We've arrived at transfer deadline day, and I've got to say that I'm a fan of the new interface. You can see all the different rumors that are happening as far as transfers go. Of course, we had the one arrival with Wan-Bissaka joining for $25 million from Manchester United. We did receive a number of offers. I thought the most interesting ones came for Tyrick Mitchell. The fact Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid were both interested in signing him speaks volumes of how talented of a player he might become. But as far as the top deals go, it looks like Pep has been scouting out Pedri at Barcelona as he joined for $147 million, the third highest potential player in career mode with a massive move. Patrick Schick to Sevilla for $76.8 million, and Immobile joining Chelsea to give them a striker option for $67.6 million. It's a dream start to our Premier League campaign, 4 matches played and 3 wins, but we have another big test away from home against one of our rivals, Brighton. Vieira is showing a lot of confidence in the arrivals that he's brought in, and we're going to continue with another playable highlights fixture. You've got to imagine that we've got the upper hand in this one, not only for form, but Brighton also without their previous manager, Graham Potter. This fixture against Brighton explains my thoughts on playable highlights pretty well, and kind of the duality of them, compared to the match against Manchester United where we saw a number of good opportunities for both teams. That was not very much the case against Brighton. The chances that did happen were few and far between, and they really weren't clear-cut. This probably being the best one we had in the 38th minute as Zaha goes for the volleyed effort, but that going wide of the post, and, just not too much happening here. A 2-on-3 for Brighton, and Wan-Bissaka easily able to catch up, showcasing his pace and the defensive improvement that we made. The final chance coming in the 86th minute. It's a crossing opportunity. Unfortunately, we will dribble that out of play. So, to be fair, some of the fault goes to me for not making the most of the chances we did have, but I think it's fair to say that playable highlights will need some adjustments moving forward. And it just seemed like once we got that draw against Brighton, our season turned around for the worse, losing in the Carabao Cup on penalties to West Ham, and just the month of October with losses all around. We'll be trying to change that against Spurs. As we are winless in 8 fixtures, we are creeping towards the relegation zone. Spurs, on the other hand, are trying to get into the top 4 of the Premier League standings. It appears they've had their share of struggles, though, because no Harry Kane in the starting 11, and no Hugo Lloris at goalkeeper. But I was happy to showcase this match at Selhurst Park. We know how important it can be. If we can get a good result against Spurs, maybe that can turn around our hopes for the season. It was only a matter of minutes before Spurs' injury woes were going to continue. It's Richarlison, their new signing, that goes down, and play is forced to stop. So now, no Harry Kane, no Richarlison for Spurs. I'm not sure what they're going to do moving forward. I don't think this was a malicious challenge at all from Anderson. Just went the wrong way for Richarlison. But Kulusevski will step up, challenging Hwaita and scoring on the rebound effort. I think our defense needs to be doing more in that situation, kind of backing up our goalkeeper and allowing him to keep his clean sheets. It's a matter of moments later where Kulusevski again plays the ball through to the substitute Bryan Gill, but Hwaita quick off his line, able to make the stop, and we finally link up a couple of good passes. Zaha, our go-to scorer so far in this series. Because he's sitting alone at the striker position in this 5-4-1 formation, he's going to make up a large percentage of our goals, and it's good that we were able to get the equalizer. We're into the second half now. Spurs trying to work the ball out wide as they don't have as many central options, but it's Ward that keeps Gill onside. It's a bad mistake from our defender, and especially considering he doesn't get many appearances, this did not set a good message for me. As you can see, he's the one defender that's sitting back. Everyone else is playing forward, so I decided to make an immediate change. In most cases, I would go for an attacking swap, but instead, we're going to bring on the American youngster and much pacier center back, Chris Richards. 58 minutes in, and Wan-Bissaka does well to win the ball back for us as we keep possession. Richards with the pass find Doucouré over to Olise. Doucouré now finding Eze, some 1-2 passing, and a far post effort will again find the equalizer. 30 minutes left to play in this one, and we are giving Spurs a match. Despite our poor form in the Premier League, I don't think anybody counted us out because of our strong start in the season. But the best team know how to finish matches, and I think Spurs have the upper end in that regard. Højbjerg was brought on as a substitution, and he made an immediate impact. 75 minutes in, off of the set piece, it just falls to him on the pass. He's once again able to give Spurs a lead. Another new highlight here as we take a look at the hypermotion technology, which gives some cool statistics. Of course, after that goal, we were trying to push players forward, and the lack of numbers led to another Spurs chance. 88 minutes in, and Højbjerg will get his brace. We're into the 5th minute, past the 4 minutes of allotted extra time, and off of a set piece, Spurs were hungry for more. Unfortunate not to make that save on his near post. I think this match was a lot closer than the 5-2 scoreline would indicate, but it's clear this Palace side still has some work to do. Despite the losing result against Spurs, that was our turning point in the season. We immediately followed that up with a solid draw against Liverpool, a win against Leicester, and an overall very strong month of December. That brings us into the January transfer window, sitting mid-table in the Premier League. I wouldn't call European qualification completely off the cards, as it's really just Liverpool and Chelsea dominating the league. On the opposite end, Southampton, Brentford, and Nottingham Forest sit in the relegation zone, and our manager rating of 90 leaves us no reason to worry. As far as our options in the next episode, I think this is going to be our starting 11 moving forward. The 5-4-1 seems to be working wonders, and Richards now getting the nod to start at left center back. Despite the lower rating compared to War, the extra pace saved us on counters several times, and Olise establishing his role as our starting right winger, growing the most out of any other player in the squad. However, there was no player more crucial to the Crystal Palace team than Wilfried Zaha. An absolute ridiculous goals and assists tally, 13 goals and 11 assists from 23 appearances. That's more than 1 goal contribution in every match. And even left Vieira speechless on some press conferences, but all jokes aside, there are some glitches in the early stages of FIFA 23. But decisions moving forward, we have a number of players with expiring contracts. I need you to let me know in the comment section what you think we should do. Has Wilfried Zaha outgrown this Crystal Palace squad, or should he stay here and sign a new contract for the long-term future? As well as all the other older players, should we sign new deals, or should we continue to envision towards a younger team? Speaking of which, we've got 3 youth academy prospects that I think could be eligible for promotion. Jay Gregory is our homegrown talent, up to a 72 overall rating. Blake Simmons, an English right back with potential of 73 to 93. And finally, Ed Holden, who is a 57 rated English center attacking mid. But I think that'll wrap things up for today's episode. I'm excited for another year of FIFA content. Make sure to like and subscribe to show your support. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to y'all again soon.